Alright, I got one teammate back.
It's me, Nemo. Let's go, dude. You're in and then you're out, chat. It's that easy. Oh no! They can interrupt it! What the heck? Into the forward spawn. Escape? Come out the other side? Oh my god, he's so fast. Yeah, I know I'm throwing the game. He's so fast.
We almost had them.
Oh, you can even swing at a spawn like this.
Yeah, recharge.
Alright, come back around. Sleeping. Get him. Oh, I can even hit him with the boop from high ground. That might be a bug, actually.
Get you!
No, I'm 1 second away. This is insane. All right, let's keep going.
Oh, definitely Discord. Get him.
No, I missed.
I can't take that jump.
Oh, I missed my grapple. Just keep running. Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling. Everything's fine. I got him. Just keep rolling, chat. Everything's fine.
Yeah, there we go.
This character is going to be so mind-blowing when he gets everything going.
Oh, bomb it up.
I was trying to see if I could do it off of space. This Arista is a goner, dude. Oh no! I heard a meteor strike.
Oh god. Coming back.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Alright, go card Q. Got it.
This character's crazy. I hit him twice with that. Oh, that's interesting. Wait for it. I have the bowling ball set up. I need to hit it. Come on, come on. It's so hard. Alright, screw it. Let's do this. To the trance! Save. What the heck? Oh, 1 sec, by the way. My sensitivity is so crazy high. Or is it? Feels like it is. I don't know why.
Oh, there's a Doom station back here. I'm coming through.
No power down. Get in there. Stop right there.
Y'all know if Lucio boots him.
Oh shit!
I don't know.
It's because 90% of the time you're in third person. Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Oh my god, I'm so... We're going fast. Oh, that was a good bug. Ready?
You just go to the top rope.
I think it does a little bit too much damage to everything. We'll see. You can also see in the bottom left next to his health meter just how much shield he has left. We're dropping the minefield, boys. Oh, hello. How are you doing?
What's up? Jeff Goodman, how you guys doing?
Might have to be a little bit close to the microphone.
I don't do this.
But everybody, the first developer is coming to come say hello, answer some questions, if any you may have, chat. This is Jeff
All right.
Goodman.
That's a lot better. You're right. Okay.
Let's see,
Hey, guys.
let me increase your mic volume just a second. Try talking now.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
All right. Oh man, it's been a crazy morning.
I know, it's, you guys got, I can't believe you guys even made the tech to make something like this possible.
Yeah.
You basically made Spider-Man in Overwatch to some extent with some crazy grappling hooks. Like, I feel insane.
Yeah, this is an idea we actually had way back with some of the original concepts of Heroes. We never really figured out a lot of the details of how we were going to make it work. It was sort of like a back of our mind project, and then eventually we're just like, we're going to do it. Now's a good time to do it.
Yeah.
So we just kind of like spent all the time. In fact, there's still, well, I've been watching the streams all morning. There's still a few bugs. Good thing we have PTR.
Just a few bugs.
Yeah. It's not quite, perfect yet. I'm sure we'll get there. He actually originally started, I think some of the even the earlier concept art's actually out there still of like, he's kind of this, he was like this junkyard, like magnet bot is kind of what we were going with. He was just kind of the robot back then, and he had all these like kind of magnet abilities where he would pull in all the bullets to him and he could tank them, reflect them and stuff like that. It was a long time ago. So that kind of we have a lot of concepts that are kind of just sitting around, not really doing anything. So we got pretty excited about this interesting other direction, actually going with Hammond.
It seems crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I know you guys have said in interviews before that you've talked about how you used to have something called the Jetpack Cat. And you guys talked about how you weren't really sure how crazy you wanted Overwatch to get.
Yeah.
Have standards changed since Jetpack Cat?
I don't know. I mean, I think, that does come up as like, Winston was sort of possibly our most sort of out there concept, and I think maybe that's been usurped now. But I don't think necessarily means like, we're not just, this isn't like, oh no, it's slippery slope, who knows, and, we're gonna have all kinds of animals now or whatever. It's not that. I think it's just this, we just sort of fell in love with this concept, and again, it sort of started a different way, and kind of we had this like just kind of one-off concept, like what if it was related to Lunar Horizon Colony and had all this thing. We were just like, yeah, that's amazing.
It's like, we have this ball, what if a hamster was in it?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went, actually. It's a pretty crazy place to work, let me tell you. But yeah, so we start to get concepts out for everything, and I get to prototyping right away, and just what would be cool. I wasn't like thinking hamster-related abilities necessarily as much as the ball.
It's all about the ball, not about the hamster.
So that's kind of where it all started, and then we started adding abilities over time and removing abilities, and this guy went through a lot of different iteration. Actually, the designer who originally started working on this, his name is Adam Poole. He was working with us for a while. He's actually a Diablo designer, but he's on our team for a while, which is pretty nice. So he got in there real quick, and I was like, while you're helping us out, what about this concept we've been working on for a while? And he started concepting that. It was kind of quite a curveball to throw for like a first foray into our tools and everything, but he did a great job, and everyone was loving it. So we sort of took over and finished it out, and A lot of the abilities, like that slam ability, came a little bit later because
Yeah.
actually the big thing was the hook. The hook wasn't even like right out the gate. It was just like we want to do like this ball that rolls around and smashes into people. It's super fun, this mobility move. And then we just like tried this hook idea out, and it was they were still working on some of the tech. There's still some bugs there. It's mostly there now. We'll have everything cleaned up pretty soon. But it's like once we got that in there, it kind of transformed everything. Because it's like now you got all the vertical mobility.
Now he's crazy. He's like he went from, I could see how if he didn't have the hook, he'd almost be kind of boring because he just rolls around in a ball and that's all he would have. But now with vertical mobility, it adds everything because just even playing just that 1 or 2 games I play with him now, I can just imagine so many different players come up with all these hook routes where basically I'm going to know exactly where I have to hook and like keep the momentum so I go flying through doors and act literally as his name in game is Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, totally.
Because I think a lot of his damage is going to be, you could actually just hook a corner and just come down over and over like a Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't know how much damage it does, but it seems like it's pretty decent.
The impact does 50 right now, just on the if you get hooked onto something, you actually get this sort of people have seen it by now. You get the extra speed boost, and that's where you kind of like light on fire. And during that moment is where you actually do the knockback and do the damage and everything. So there's all kinds of cool combos you can do that it could be pretty tricky to pull off. Like you said, it's like really getting that like
seems
angle.
Extremely high skill cap when it comes to some of them.
Yeah,
I can
especially the map. Knowing all the maps and exactly where to go and everything.
Reminds me a little bit of Doomfist because Doomfist players, they have to know exactly the height they can uppercut on a lot of maps and where they can go. And this character is going to be the same type of way where you want to know all of your normal. If you're going to hook a corner, you want to know exactly where you're going.
Yeah. And I think the general rule of thumb when you're playing him is like try to hook yourself really high, basically, because you're going to get the widest angle and you can get a lot of height off of that and everything. It's sort of like the biggest tip if people want to try him out. But yeah, once we got that hook in there, it was like, oh, and this is a crazy idea. And we tried it, and we're like, this is actually really awesome and totally fixed the Wrecking Ball theme.
Yeah.
And, originally, he was just, like I said, on the ground, and we had this idea where, maybe it's like takes a while to build up speed, and maybe you can use ramps to go faster, which actually still exists. If you go down ramps, he actually goes a little bit faster. He won't go into that level 3 speed like super fast, but you can actually use the environment to speed up.
It does make sense. He is a ball.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be kind of weird playing a ball character and not speeding up if I was going down a hill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's actually a lot of like subtle stuff in there too. Like if you just stop on a slope, he'll just start to roll
sliding?
down. Yeah,
start to roll down.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
There's like a lot of little stuff we did there. So that was sort of the original thing. And like you said, you're like, yeah, it sounds like that'd be kind of boring. Yeah, it was pretty boring actually.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was like, oh man, this is sort of cool when it works, but there's a lot of times where you're just like, you can't build up speed, or there's no ramps in this level, or So the hook sort of just was like game changing. It's like, oh, now then the slam idea came into play, and it was like, oh man, this whole kit. And then the slam pulls everybody in, and you have a thing where like, the shield is the more enemies near you, the bigger it is. So you pull people in, and then you shield, and then the mines, of course, are close. It's like this whole package.
Everything
right?
synergizes together really well.
Also, what's cool about the mines is if you launch up in the air really high and drop them, they actually they fall down at an angle. So
they spread out more.
The pattern will be more spread out.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of control the pattern a little bit. Like if you want to drop them, try to cover all of Hanamura B, you could try to get real high or something.
So can the enemies destroy the mines?
Yeah. They have 50 health right now. It's quite a bit, actually. It seems like, we still get feedback occasionally. It's like, oh, it's pretty hard to kill them if you're Zenyatta or Lucio. There are certain heroes that are definitely have a harder time. Although Zen actually has a cool trick where you can just ult and try to blow them all up.
You could.
So that's pretty cool.
So then it's not necessarily an ability you want to use like before the fight. You want to use it in the middle of it because they have less health.
Chaos, yeah. It's hard to sort of be in the middle of a fight and you're worried about your positioning, and then suddenly there's all these mines, and now you're like, well, where do I stand now?
How much damage does each mine do? Because I notice he drops like 10 or 12, I think, and just a giant circle around him. But
I can't remember the exact amount. It's like 120 or 130. It's quite a bit.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so it's basically just like a fair rocket for each one almost.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Especially if if they're not ready for it. Or, of course, if you combo with anything, Zarya is always the best combo. She's the combo queen. So.
Oh yeah.
Everything works with her, including this.
I can imagine. It's just a really, really fun character, and I'm really excited because one of the things that I missed from other games in Overwatch was skill-based movement, and I feel like this character is pretty much the epitome of skill-based movement. I don't think you get much more skill-based movement than this. But
I have a lot of people falling off to their deaths accidentally.
I'm actually scared to play on this map right now.
Yeah, but you can do stuff like on that pillar right there. I don't even know if this is good necessarily, but you could just swing around there and become like this sort of
I'm gonna try that right
area denial just by yourself, and you just like, well, see, and you keep going. And like, he's really weak to CC. I think I've already seen people playing Mei against him. And, that's PTR for you.
Sounds like PTR.
Right. I've been told top men are on that. That's the quote. Top men.
Top
okay,
men.
Top men. Good. Yeah, but like the playtest, he's got a huge hitbox, so it's like, he's like a sleep dart magnet. Mei is really easy to freeze him, and he does, he's got a lot of mobility, but it's all actually like moving around as opposed to blinking around. So
Yeah.
Mei actually is just really effective against slowing people down. So that's really strong, and stuns Brigitte, McCree, stuff like that. Anytime you can stop him. Actually, even simple as like a Orisa halt, just for the slow, like because you just lose all your momentum, and he's so much about the momentum, and it's like it's really hard to sort of get it back up to speed, and you're sitting around the whole team probably because you probably
Yeah.
dropped on everybody.
So in other words, you don't want to get trapped as by a
Yeah.
Junkrat.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's real bad. You probably won't live through that. What's cool about his shields, actually, I don't think anybody's picked up on this, and we don't want to like overload the F1 tip with like just a bunch of nuance on there. But his adaptive shield, actually, we got new tech in, so that shield buffer that he gets doesn't give ult to the enemy team when they shoot it.
Oh, is that similar to how Lucio works? I forget.
No, Lucio, you actually get ult right now. We talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
maybe changing that as well for him.
I remember.
But we'll see how this goes.
I remember
first.
people were confused about that a while back.
Yeah, there's actually, that's why you sometimes see those videos where like Lucio ult a bunch of people and then you like boop them all in the pit.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
get full health credit for their over health too, and you just get like your
Oh, that
ult
makes
instantly.
sense. Yeah.
So it's like
That makes a lot of sense.
crazy amount of ult credit. But yeah, it's really nice because it's like, we want to do this tank concept. We don't want to like drop another Winston dome in front of everybody because like we have a lot of barriers.
There's
in the game.
I would say there's a lot of visual clutter in the game.
Yeah.
And so if you drop another type of big shield like that, then it becomes hard to actually see stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. So we were like doing everything we can. Like, what could we do? What's a cool tank move we could do to get in there and feel like you're taking for your team and surviving, but not drop this huge shield, right? So that's where we came up with this idea where it's like, he's just really hard to kill for that window, and you could drop in and you feel like you can kind of go 1v5, 1v6 for at least that window of time.
Yeah.
And still get out, unless you get CC'd to death, but that can happen. But yeah, so that's why that shield is so massive. It's actually 100 over shields base, and then 100 extra per target near you. There's actually
Hamon's got pretty strong CC.
a little indicator in the bottom left of your HUD that like will actually count the number of targets around you, so you can see.
Yeah, I saw that.
So like,
It reminds me of the Lucio Aura stuff, where it
Yeah,
tells you how
exactly.
many people are around you.
yeah. So yeah, it came with that. We were playtesting originally, and was like, well, I'm dropping in. I have 1100 health or whatever. But then Reaper just shoots me a couple times and he ults me or something because it's like he gets so much ult. So that's
Reaper
where-
would act because he's such a huge
Yeah.
character.
He's also
I think,
spherical, so you get like the spread.
yeah,
is, like,
it's perfect.
yeah.
Like you cannot miss him. If
like a
even a
giant
single
Zenyatta.
pellet will every single pellet will hit him.
Yeah.
That must be crazy. The only thing I get worried about with something like Hammond is when I noticed wait, do you guys call him Hammond or Wrecking Ball?
He's
internally?
Wrecking Ball.
Really?
Yeah,
you guys
isn't
call him
it-
Wrecking Ball?
Yeah.
Wait,
His name is
Isn't it-
Hammond, like sort of like Lena is Tracer, right? It's like that's
Okay.
his name, but in the game he's Wrecking Ball, and everybody.
there
calls him
is
Wrecking
zero chance everyone is going to call him Wrecking Ball. I'm just telling you this right
I
now.
see.
The community is going to rename him Hammond.
Ball. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with it.
The only thing I was worried about was I noticed when he does the drop, I think it's called the pile driver.
Yeah.
He does a massive AoE knockup of
Mm-hmm.
everyone, and that's almost CC of like everyone in the range.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like that CC feels incredibly strong to me on a first playthrough,
Yeah.
where essentially I can grappling hook in, I can drop down, and I can tank for a little bit. And not only do I do damage to them, but they're also CC'd. And so if I have any teammates who are also going with me at the same time, I get like I can just imagine, the Winston leap. They also knocks them up a little
Oh,
bit.
I see, yeah.
So if you have double knock up, you can actually boot people off of maps really easily
Yeah.
that way.
There's not a whole lot of lateral movement. It's mostly like vertical. It does pull people into you to some degree, but it does the thing that Doomfist uppercut does, which it actually disables your air control a
yeah,
little
you
bit.
don't have air strafing, yeah.
Yeah, so it basically allows your team to be able to line up shots predictably because like, oh, they're not going to be dodging in the air. For this moment anyway, especially for like Widow, Hanzo, some kind of sniper, and you can line up the shots really easily. It helps a lot. But it's not actually hard CC. Like you can do all your abilities and everything. Like if you're Tracer, you can just blink away or recall.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think, especially with the type of abilities we have in the game, it's surprising how easy it is to sort of get out of, depending on your comp. It can also be blocked by barriers, so if you turn it the right way, you can block a lot of people. Of course, if you're jumping behind somebody, that can be difficult, or jumping behind the Reinhardt. Yeah, it's just... we have some experimental maps too, and there's a map we have a statue in the middle of it, like a temp statue, and we have people just go around that the whole time, just because it's
Yeah.
like, on the capture point. And
I
just,
feel like any small pillar on any map,
Yeah.
basically, you're just gonna find this and you're just gonna swing in circles. Someone's gonna do it. It's going to happen.
yeah, it's sort of like you're kind of tanking. People like can't help but not shoot at you. I mean, they have to shoot at you basically. It's like this beacon.
So, you said the initial impacts. Let's say you just do that type of spin move that does around 50 damage.
So this that's just running into somebody. Actually, does 50 if you're going full speed.
Yeah.
The slam ability is interesting. It can do up to 100 if you land right on somebody. It's got like really strong fall off. It falls off all the way down to 20 over an 8-meter range. So it kind of extra rewards the accuracy. If you land right on somebody, you don't get the pull effect really because they're already right there, but you get all that extra damage. So. There's some cool combos I haven't even really seen people do yet because obviously it's brand new.
Yeah, I was curious actually. Is it possible to get the knock damage from going speed? Like, I think if you do a perfect combo, you could get the knock damage, go in the air at the same time,
Exactly.
and then pile drive them
Yeah,
all in
that's what I
one
was getting
combo.
at. Yeah, exactly. It's tricky to do. I've played them quite a bit, and
That sounds very difficult.
yeah, you basically have to kind of hit them as you're going up.
Yeah, that's what
so
it
that
seems like.
you're already kind of right above them at the right time. You almost hit there.
Oh, that was
actually.
close. That was close. Yeah.
You can kind of get some burst damage there. As you said, it's pretty hard to do. I think as people get really good at it and know certain map spots, it might be sort of easier in those spots.
His knockback seems extremely strong
Yeah.
on his normal abilities.
He also he gets that sort of, we internally we're calling it level 3 speed because he had these kind of 3 gears he goes into, but it's basically just a ramp speed. Oh, get that. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a
okay,
diva
well,
bomb.
that's,
I dropped the mines in the air, so I didn't
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
full combo, but
even just slamming into that though, like I just said, because the damage, center of the damage is so high,
Yeah.
and she groups them so tight that you can get kind of 100 on everybody if you can land right on everybody. So even that without the ult is super strong. You can use this as like a launch point too if you can time it just right and launch and then hit your slam or the pile drive. I just call it slam all the time because internally we kept calling it was called slam for a while. So. Oh.
yeah, they get knocked up pretty far, but they still can't use abilities.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Mines.
no, the mines! Wow, those do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
So we spent, actually, one of the things we were like iterating a lot, and it's actually just recently, I think like 2 days ago, we just made some big changes to it even, but the mine's visual and sound and everything, because they do so much damage and it's so important for you to know that they're there, but we get that a lot when we're working on a different ability. It's like, okay, you really need to know about this thing. Oh no, you really need to know about this thing. So I sort of don't envy the sound designers who are constantly telling them, no, you need, this is the most important thing all the time. Like, this is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So we were working on that particular ult sound, both when he's deploying it and when they're on the ground, but also the visual effects. Those are kind of long spikes now. Oh, that was pretty sick. Oh, he got stunned
No.
or something. No, there was a halt. See,
son.
that's what I'm saying.
I wanted to swing back and just get away to safety.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he's paired super well with like Zarya because the ult and stuff. Of
Oh,
course,
and you
but
can shield
the
him when he goes in.
Yeah, it's like Winston or Diva. Anybody diving in and getting the big shield on him is like a free 40 energy for her practically, and obviously saving him some damage as well.
Yeah. But do you know if you can make the loop underneath King's Row?
I literally don't think I've ever seen anybody try this. You might be the first person
Oh,
to
wait,
try it.
sorry.
Oh, get it. There it is. Oh, that bug. That was sick though.
Pop the minefield.
Oh, you're going into my field.
Oh no, it's their minefield.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I got 2
Put the
kills with the
mines behind you.
minefield, but jeez.
Worth. That was worth. So yeah, we're still like, especially PTR is about bug fixing, but also about getting feedback and everything. So about anything really. But as I was just mentioning, that minefield, we've been iterating a lot just to make sure it's there. You don't want to feel like I didn't even know I was standing in minefield when I died.
Yeah.
So
I know
you
that.
should know and just be like, well, I couldn't get out, or I chose to try to get some damage in before I went down or something.
Oh no. I think I accidentally used a grappling hook before and I missed it.
So it should work like Widow grapple. Like
Yeah,
you miss entirely, it doesn't cause you a cooldown.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But yeah, there's sometimes you get stunned or something and it'll drop your grapple and then you lose the cooldown. Are you
Should
going for it?
I'm doing. I'm getting tries.
I don't even know. That's pretty good.
Oh,
no.
I can do it. I can do it.
There's still time.
Wait, it needs to be just properly angled though.
Oh,
Come here.
this is like a new mini game waiting to happen.
He made it.
It's like American Gladiators.
No. That guy made it!
He's just better.
Oh my god. He's so good.
I like he must have seen you go down there. He's like, oh, this is happening.
I'm gonna try
now.
this real quick, and he just does it, just leaves me behind. He's like, that was easy, and I just die. I'm like, oh, sorry, dude.
Oh, there's a combo. Oh, that was
There
good.
we go.
That was good. Your slams. Oh yeah, that's good too.
Slams off cooldown, or on cooldown. You can sort of just keep backing up and trying it. It's kind of cool.
You can also like kind of jump in the air, kind of you were doing there, and shoot for a little while, and then still slam. Like
Oh,
if you
like-
try to use the abilities that require. Oh, nice. That's also just
That's a
good.
good slam.
Yeah. If you try to use abilities that require one of the other forms, like you have to be in mech form to use the shield, and you have to be in ball form to use the pile driver. But if you're not in the right form, it'll just put you in the right form for you. So.
Oh, I was wondering, because earlier, I think I was normal slamming. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, yeah. So you can like jump in the air and start shooting from the air, and then slam still if people go underneath you or pile driver. I spelled slam.
You can go through it seriously. It's honestly a super fun character.
Sweet.
I heard her shatter. Oh
Uh-oh.
no. Oh no.
You shield and pray.
Not good. That's a minefield.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We have a,
Zen's
we have
got
a
you.
chance. We're good. Oh, Symmetra. So, Hammond / Wrecking Ball is
Yeah.
not the only new character that you guys have revamped recently. There's also Symmetra.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, honestly, the game's getting pretty crazy now. We have a rolling hamster ball. We have a character with a teleporter that you could put on like a 10-second cooldown. Are you guys a little bit like worried about how crazy Overwatch is becoming?
I think Overwatch has always been a little crazy.
Oh yeah, I guess it has been.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think it's what's important is that you feel like there are, unique opportunities for every hero and what they can do, what they can bring to your team. And certainly the old that was a great one. The old teleporter, had a lot of that going on, but being able to use the teleporter now as it stands with all kinds of new ways to use it as far as comboing with your team and even just like saving yourself or saving a Zen that's just like caught out of position or something is great.
They just capped. We all left.
That was the C9.
Yep.
I didn't even notice.
Nobody else did either.
That's the problem. Oh man, the classic. Poor C9. Let's see. This forever named.
Everyone knows it now.
Although no press is bad press, right? Everyone knows.
I
C9
guess
now.
so, huh?
It's transcended. But yeah, I think Symmetra has been interesting. We've been getting a lot of feedback about her primary fire, feeling like it's pretty difficult to charge up and it's got short range. And
Yeah.
keeping a close eye on that. I think there's definitely some validity to that. I think the concern was that it has this insane damage potential, right? So it's like the big thing was to try to keep that feeling where like she's always had that she's really scary when she gets ramped
She's
up.
like a Void Ray.
right,
She's
exactly.
gonna start ramping up, and you're in trouble.
So even when we were doing a remake, we were like, well, we want to keep that because that's part of that potential is so exciting, and if you get that off, you get to play the game. You just melt 5 people. It's really cool.
I
So
noticed when I was playing her.
it was a little hard to tune that, but there's still opportunities to increase that. Range
She also
or
gets
something.
ammo off of shield. So I
Yeah.
noticed when I was playing her on PTR, pretty much I just used only the right click unless there was a shield, and then I'd try and charge up off the shield because I noticed that it took so long to ramp up the damage that a lot of the time you could do just spamming right click orbs.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like Mei in a sense, where it's like you use the right click a lot. It's sort of like a longer range or just a
Oh, yeah.
primary. But you kind of use the left click whenever you can or whenever you feel like you can get, the opportunity is there for you. So I mean, we're keeping a close eye on her, like I said. I think she's super exciting, and there's a lot more she can do now. She's super flexible.
She's definitely brings a little more, I guess, mobility to the table
Oh,
with
yeah.
teleporter.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see, but I just want to know how crazy pro strats are going to get because they already
That's
go
what I
down to
wanna know.
every small detail. But now it's
You
like,
tell me.
I don't want to think about it right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's sort of what's especially exciting about it. And I've already been seeing all kinds of posts and videos and stuff on everywhere online, on Reddit and everywhere, where it's just the craziest plays, teleporting a static diva bomb.
Oh yeah, you guys made it teleport. You can teleport abilities now, so you can teleport
yeah.
turrets, gravitons.
You
diva
can't
bombs.
teleport projectiles. You can only teleport sort of entities.
Oh, okay.
So it's you can teleport an exploding diva mech. 'Cause it's technically not a projectile or anything, but maybe someday if it's hard to imagine, but maybe someday if the teleporter needs to be more powerful, then we can think about projectiles, but that's sort of a whole other layer of crazy that's hard for me to wrap my head around exactly what that would do.
It's so fun just to roll around the map. It's crazy.
I'm surprised you could like play this right now and still be able to like talk. And
It's actually really hard because I have to like stop talking sometimes because I'm trying to roll around and I get very confused.
oh, because the sleep target. Oh, that was good. See, that's just great. Oh, except for the sleep. I was gonna say that's just great. You can slam like that, hit your shield, and still get out. But
Yeah.
sleep is a problem. Oh, there you go. That's gonna be tough.
Wait, it broke.
I'm not even sure what just happened there.
I think I got CC'd and it broke.
Man, that's what I mean about the sleep dart magnet.
All the sleep darts,
Yeah.
all the stuns in the world.
He's got a huge hitbox, so he's got a ton of health, but he's pretty easy to hit. So,
Go away, Ana. Don't sleep me again.
some of the big changes this patch, we have some Sombra stuff in here we were kind of working on for a little while, sort of Jeff alluded to in one of the earlier posts. The Z band, the Sombra change, it's supposed to be a buff. Like, she's supposed to be better. I've definitely been reading. Some people think that the offset nerfs are outweigh the buffs.
You mean the perma invisibility and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. And some people are thinking that it's not really worth the trade-off of losing the ability to contest and things like that. So it's definitely not the intention to make her weaker. We'll keep an eye on her to make sure that she's ultimately better as a result. But
Yeah.
in our playtest, she's been able to be a lot more effective, especially communicating with her team and timing the Orisa hack just when her shield's gonna break, so she can't put another one down. You're always in the right position at the right time. Timing your hacks alone is so strong now. I'm hoping that with some PTR time and everything, there'll be time to adjust to the new potential strategies of sort of permanent stealth and what that means.
Yeah.
But if it's a turn, you just ran right through that. Wow.
Yeah,
you didn't
no
care.
fear.
For the Zen Orb too, I think. But yeah, if it ends up being, we feel like she's weaker, or we see that she's weaker, we'll back up the change or something if we need to.
I think
on
what
some more, but
the biggest issue with Sombra changes is when everyone hears the words permanent
Yeah,
invisibility,
yeah.
they panic. And
Yeah,
so they
for
don't
sure.
really know what that means in an Overwatch context because honestly, most of the time, when a Sombra is attacking you, she is coming out of invisibility
Yep.
the vast majority of the time. And so whether that's permanent or not
Right.
generally isn't going to matter
Exactly.
for the other player.
That's
but,
exactly what we found in our playtest.
when you hear the words permanent invisibility, you think of rogues from WoW
Yeah.
or some sort of ganker from some
Totally.
MMO who's just cloaked, comes over and one-shots you, which isn't exactly what Sombra's about.
Right.
But
Well, I mean, she's still got her delay coming out of invisibility, and she's still got not a lot of burst damage, but she's got a huge magazine, so she could do a lot of damage, but not as bursty as like rogues and WoW or something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exactly what you said, actually. Playtesting, we were sort of like, you know what? Let's just go crazy and try permanent visibility just to see what happens. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy to just try it. And we're running around, and we get feedback from people playing against her. People are like, I didn't even notice. Like, I don't know. She's doing what she always felt like she was doing. She's behind us. She was opening on us. But as the Sombra player, it was like, oh my god, it was amazing. I didn't have to worry about, I wasn't gonna be able to get, like, I had a great position in another second, but then I had to get out because my translator was gonna die or my cell was gonna wear off or something.
Yeah.
So, plus you get into cool areas where you're working on a map, or you're out in front of your flank defense, and you're out in front of your defender's team or whatever, out in front of the place where you're defending, and then all the attackers are coming in and just calling them out. Okay, everyone's going right, but there's like one flanker on the left. You just like straight up call what the enemies are doing,
yeah,
which is really
you have more of
powerful.
like a scouter role almost.
Exactly. So that has its own. Oh, that you're gonna pull him right in your
Oh,
mind.
what? He just-
Oh, that's so close.
He went oh yeah, because of the tech that makes it so they can't move in the air. Even
Yeah.
if he's charging, he gets stopped in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Just for that window. That's a cool combo. Like, being able to pull them in your mines. It's tricky sometimes to get that, but like you can also just drop your mines from really high up and then slam right away.
Yeah.
Or pile driver right away, and you'll pull people into them, and they're not armed yet. They have like a second and a half arming time.
I noticed that,
But
and it was a little bit hard. I felt like if there was a Zarya ult, I wanted to do it as fast as possible
Totally.
because otherwise they could potentially get out.
Yeah, totally. And they don't literally one-shot everybody, so like a Zen ult is still really strong at countering it. Oh,
What am I
it's a
doing?
problem. It's worth. Don't get slept. Ana and Mei terrify me playing him. It's just like the sleep
It's
and
really
slow
scary.
are just.
I mean, Doomfist too, because he can just punch me every time I come down and I
That's
get
true.
CC'd. I'm pretty sure they're actually like strategizing, because this is a custom pre-made game. Everyone's like strategizing with ideas and stuff, and I'm just sitting here just rolling around as a hamster. I have no idea
Totally.
what's going on. I'm just rolling around, no care in the world.
That's a problem. You live technically with 5 health.
I guess so.
Pretty briefly. There's a few little bugs I've seen. Like, we had a few bugs and we were like, well, we might get to PTR still. We can definitely fix them. There's a couple animation issues. I've seen, like, when you get frozen, and we have a couple mate changes in here with the fall off, so you get frozen, he gets in, like, a weird anim state where he's not in the ball correctly.
Oh, yeah.
And I was turning on stream, I was like, oh, let's see what people are doing. Like, that's the first thing I see. Oh, that's the bug right there.
Oh, yeah.
It also happens when
He gets
Doofus
bugged.
punches you. So now, it's just a weird bug. You're actually in ball mode.
Yeah, I'm
but
definitely-
your animation, it looks like you're not. So that's on our high priority list to fix. Obviously, he won't go out the door like that.
Have touch cart?
There you go. You got this.
We can drop mines here.
Drop them a little in front. That
we're
works
good.
too. Oh, because it's moving back. Yeah, that's good.
They have to touch cart, so we're good.
Except for Wrecking Ball, who's over the back. They last. Oh god, I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's either 15 seconds or I think it's 20 seconds actually. They last really long. Because the idea is more like you can use damage abilities to clear them. You don't typically wait them out, and if you are waiting them out, it's getting its own power essentially by denying the area
It's
for that
use,
long.
yeah.
So it's kind of like Orisa's ult is the same thing. It's like it's killable, so that's the main counter. That's why they last so long. That's good. Yeah, poor Zen. Oh, get back up.
He got healed by Ana.
Zen is another one who's really good against him. Obviously, I mentioned you can use the ult to clear the mines, but also just getting discorded when you're running around on their team is really bad because he's all about just having this huge health pool, and Discord's really bad for that. Good against it, I guess.
You really do have a crap ton of HP when you drop.
Oh god, yeah. It's like a hilarious. Oh, that was
Oh,
a good
that's
try.
close.
That was a good try.
What if I can escape this?
You can always escape your Wrecking Ball,
Oh!
except when you do that.
So, we're good, we're good. You can actually knock them back towards your team really easily. I feel like that's going to be the real power of Wrecking Ball.
That's good. You're gonna let a health. Oh, look at your health bar.
It's insane how much health you get just by going in like this.
It lasts for 7 seconds too, so you typically can actually use the whole health. Oh, that's good if you can get that.
Oh, but I went in too early because I didn't have my shield up.
Oh,
because they're not the same cooldown times.
not
so you have to
quite.
wait a few seconds before you go back in.
Yeah, he was a little too hard to kill when you could throw that thing off like just on a crazy low cooldown. It was just like, how can I? There's like small windows of time I can ever hurt him.
So another hero you guys have been recently talking about is Torbjorn. Is there any updates other than apparently he is in flux?
That's a good way to put it. He originally started as like, let's just try some minor things, see where they take us. But that kind of eventually changed to just like, well, let's just try crazier things and see what happens. Because
What are some of the crazier things?
so we're trying. Let's see. God, we tried all kinds of stuff.
Give me some
Some
ideas.
details. Some of the stuff we've been trying is the turret is kind of thrown now, but not. It's more like Tracer ult thrown. It's not like you're hugging it across the map. It's just kind of tossed in front of you, which is surprising. He almost saved you.
Oh my god, it was so close.
The turret throwing thing is actually surprisingly useful. It's very quick to deploy now. You can kind of throw on top of boxes or somewhere a little above you, or just drop it down below you a lot easier. We're trying lots of different stuff with the turrets. Like nothing solidified yet. Some of the ideas we tried. The turret levels up as it gets kills, automatically leveling it to 2. They don't have to hit it anymore.
Ooh, I like that.
That's pretty cool. We were working with that for a while. I think that's still in there right now.
That one is really nice.
Yeah, so, and then we're trying all kinds of crazy abilities, like, what if, we had a mini Molten Core as his E, or what if we, his ult was something different, and,
Honestly, I think my biggest problem with Torbjorn is just his head is so big.
that's our buff. Just shrink the head.
Yeah, I'm serious though. If you look,
Yeah.
you guys did it to Winston, Diva, and I think one other character where you made their head hitbox smaller.
Yeah.
If you did that to Torbjorn, he would be so much better as a character.
Yeah, actually, look at
It's
that.
very, very small.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of difference because
We're trying to, the two biggest things we're trying to hit up are trying to make it more viable on offense.
Yeah.
Technically, we don't even have a defense category anymore, but that doesn't necessarily mean he needs to be as powerful on offense or defense, but he needs to be, more viable, yeah. So that's kind of a lot of where we get with the turret leveling, and you can throw it, and it's faster to deploy and stuff like that, so you can get it out there more. Trying to get something like that in there. What was the other thing? Oh, I don't know. That's kind of the main thing is keeping the kit there, though. We still got a turret. We're not going to, ditch the turret. He's not going to have a turret
you want to
anymore.
keep the core of the same
Exactly.
character. You don't want to.
So it's how do we get that feel of this character who's still strong on defense, but is more viable on offense and has more options and better comps and stuff. So
just from playing him, I strongly feel that his head is a little too big.
Yeah.
And so if I get shot, it's always a headshot. Because it's just his head is so gigantic, his hitbox. And his left click is really, really strong. and his right click, if you made it take just slightly less ammo, I think that would be
Ammo,
really
okay.
good.
That's interesting.
Because that way, I noticed that whenever a Torbjorn reloads, it takes about 10 years, give or take.
Roughly.
Yeah. So when I'm playing Torbjorn, for example, it's really often, and you see it all the time in like regular play too. If he pops Molten Core and he has to reload,
Yeah,
you're fine.
We've changed that a little bit too. So much like Soldier 76, when he's using Molten Core right now, at least internally, it's much faster reload.
Yeah.
So for the same reason, it's like I'm using this ability, I'm supposed to be shooting all the time, and I have to reload. Like, oh, I'm just killing my old time. So that's been pretty huge too.
Well, this map must be insane for Wrecking Ball.
That said, we don't really have like, if we had something we were super stoked on and ready to go with Torbjorn, we already probably have him on PTR. We'd be more willing to talk about all the details, but we're still heavily in flux, trying all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So what originally started as like, this is gonna be really, really minor. Still might be. It might be a little more major. I don't know yet now. We'll have to see. We're just playing with different stuff. We just wanted to feel really cool and viable and in more areas and.
Kind of similar to what you guys are doing with Symmetra, trying to make her more viable all around.
Exactly.
Chat, do you have any questions, chat?
Yeah, hit me.
He's ready, chat. Help him out.
Pick him up.
Everyone is spamming Ana.
Ana, right? Ana. Ana's pretty tricky. There was a time not terribly long ago. This also happened with Lucio, by the way, where the comments were, her kit is so good that she'll always be played. Like, it doesn't matter, like, because there were nerfs back when she was played all the time, back when her ult gave speed boosts and everything. Lucio was the same thing. Lucio gives speed boosts, like, he will always be played. It's like, now we're in a situation where, you know, maybe her kit's not good enough, or she doesn't have enough power to make up for her deficiencies, because she's always had these no mobility problems. She has problems self-healing, and it's not necessarily about like let's give her some mobility or let's give her self-healing because that will solve her deficiencies. It's more about making sure that her capabilities outweigh that. So it's worth having her, despite having her have low mobility, maybe she's more protection because we gain this extra power that's worth it. You know, we get her bio grenade is still extremely
one of the
strong.
Strongest abilities in the game. Yeah.
It's like healing is so strong in the game that being able to negate their healing at all is so good. Oh, this is pretty good. He didn't quite make it out of the barrier.
Oh, poor guy.
I agree with the sentiment. We are trying some stuff, but it's not likely to result in like a bunch of mobility to her or something like that. We want to keep a lot of the core of the character intact.
One of the, I would say, like common themes since release Overwatch to now has been constantly that healers have actually become stronger and stronger at healing.
Yeah.
And so when Ana was in the game, I don't mean that way. When Ana was played all the time, when she was played constantly, that was with old Zen Harmony Orb, which I think was 25 HPS. And that was also with the old Mercy, who had, I believe, only maybe 30 HPS on her left click.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think
it was significantly less.
Yeah.
And so basically you end up with all these support characters that also, I think the Zen right click became more accurate, Discord was faster. Basically, all the supports have been consistently buffed, while Ana has such a strong kit, I feel like you guys are afraid to change her. Because if you give her just a slight buff too much, suddenly every game's going to have Ana, because she is really, really strong, and she is very, very fun. And that's why a lot of people miss her from the meta.
Yeah. And yeah, that's good. That's a good way to put it. I think we're still looking at ways to help her out, and that's where sort of the changes last patch came from. Try to get her. I guess there's 2 patches now. Depends where we are exactly.
Yeah, I noticed you guys did the you can shoot through your
allies.
teammates.
That was one we've talked about for a long time actually, and the concern was always, you know, there's a viable strategy to shooting a full health teammate. Yes. So especially, you know, if you have an allied Pharah ulting or something like that, you know she's about to get lit up, so you start healing her early. So there's a little bit of a cost to that change, but we started playtesting it and we're like, you know, that cost does exist. It kind of sucks a little bit, but ultimately it's just way better in more situations, more commonly. That's a pretty good one. Oh, if I get everybody. See, he just jumped out of it because he does not stun, so
he can just leave, But I did notice actually some high-level Ana players complaining about that change for that exact reason that you were describing.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's maybe a world where you revert that and come up with some better solution or something. But right now, it's definitely better to have that than to not have it, even despite the sort of one downside to it, where the free healing doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think Ana isn't nearly a situation that's like reworked territory or anything like that.
No,
She's really good, and like we were just saying, her kit's really strong. So
I feel like everyone loves the character, and she is definitely more viable than people think.
Yeah.
And what really just comes down to is Mercy is easier to play.
Yeah.
So
if you just want the raw healing throughput, it's kind of hard.
Raw
to...
healing throughput with survivability and this true. What? Okay, I'm dropping mines.
That's mean. That's just mean. that was personal. That was a personal attack.
Oh, that poor guy. Poor Emong. I just think kind of, how do I put it? Okay, I lost my train of thought. Chat, it's your turn now.
All right, let's see what else we got.
Oh, this was what I was going to talk about, was you guys, on this same PTR patch, have now buffed the long-range damage of Mei, Bastion, Soldier, and McCree.
Yeah, so we sort of did a systemic change to the fall off formula, I guess. I mean, it's not actually a single formula. We do tune it per weapon, but typically weapons that had fall off would fall off all the way down to 30%, so that you'd only be doing 30% of your normal damage at max range. We just changed that cap down to up to 50%, so you're doing more damage at max range now. Okay. It helps especially for characters like McCree, even Soldier 7600, although his fall off range was a lot higher, so it's harder to hit the actual max range, but it still affects him as well. There's a lot of opportunities or times where you are hitting a target that's really far away, and it was just sort of so punishing that it was sort of like, is this even worth shooting at this point? Am I just like, especially compared to the heal amount that they're getting, it's like especially like far up in the air on some of these maps with a really high.
She's gonna be at the skybox. Yeah.
Skybox. So it's like even if I'm playing McCree or something like that, I was like, I'm not even hurting. Like this is like wasting my time. So some of that's cool. We do want the fall off to matter, but so we're just basically reducing the impact of fall off a little bit. So
yeah,
to help in those situations.
So in general, that seems like a change aimed at Pharah sitting in the sky really far away, and probably Widowmaker.
Yeah, and Widow at super long ranges as well.
Widowmaker is a big one for Overwatch League players.
Yeah, and we're trying something with this too. We put Mei's Ultimate Fire, so we took the fall off that again.
That's going to be interesting.
Existed for a time. There was a while where she didn't have it, and she was really strong in certain situations. You're playing Widow and you just get headshot and you're almost dead from across the map, and so that may not stay. We're just throwing this PTR to see what that feels like with the rest of these Fallout changes. That was pretty good. Oh, you bounced her out, I think, unfortunately.
No, she's
dead anyway.
She's a goner.
Yeah, it didn't matter. So that one may not stay. I think it's just an opportunity for us to try it again in this sort of new game. Essentially, it was from where she last had it. Everything's different now. So.
Yeah, got at least 4 or 5 new heroes at this point. Yeah. Lots of balance patches. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I like Mei.
Yeah, Mei's great. I think if Wrecking Ball ends up really, really strong, Mei will end up stronger as a result because she's a really good counter to him. There's also stuff you can do, like you can drop her wall on his minefield, and it will actually like blow up mines because they go off on the wall.
Yeah.
So they hurt the wall, but it's like you don't care because you just.
Can I lift up mines of my friendly?
No, you can't. They're like absorbed in there.
Yeah. Okay. One more question. Okay. Chat, you guys get one more question, then he has to go.
Yes.
I'm sorry, chat. One more question.
Man, that's scrolling by real fast.
That's scrolling by real fast.
Let's see. Nerf Mercy. I don't know about that. I think you have to fight all the other people on the internet to see who wins.
There's a lot of Ryan questions.
Ryan. Okay, yeah, we can talk about Ryan. That's a great thing. So, the biggest thing we've been focusing on Ryan, and I think we've said this before, and it's going to sound maybe redundant or whatever, is you're trying to get Earthshatter to be really consistent and fix all the bugs with it. We first tried it like a couple patches ago. The fix we had didn't really work like we wanted it to, and then we had a much better solution. The most recent patch, we thought we were going to get in there, but it ended up being really costly on the server because we were doing like all these checks crawling on the ground, and we couldn't find a way to make it performant enough to actually get in. So we are like very actively working on Earthshatter, and even though the performance isn't there yet, with the playtest we've had with it, it's so much nicer because it works very consistently like you expect. It doesn't. There's no issues anymore and things like that. So. Unfortunately, we can't get it in this patch. We were hoping to get it in this patch. It didn't quite make it. So it's very, very likely to be in the next patch. So that's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because before we can even think about like tweaking him and buffing him, we need to get this thing like very properly working consistently every time.
Because there's actually, I would say, 3 things to Reinhardt that are weird. The first one is Earthshatter.
Yeah.
The second one is Charge.
Yeah.
And then the third one, which not a lot of people talk about, is I feel that his general hammer swing knockback has become much stronger than it was at release Overwatch. And so a lot of the time what I see happening is Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. In Overwatch League this happens constantly, where if you predict that he's going to swing, you can jump and go flying and get out of melee range and escape from the other Reinhardt by jumping at a proper timing.
I've never heard of that.
And so it's also a pretty... Oh, I feel bad for my team. It happens regularly for lots of heroes, and I feel like it's just like... people don't notice it as much, but it definitely exists for high-level Reinhardt players.
Interesting.
But, yeah, I would say he seems like a character that if everything's working really, really well, he's very, very strong.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, people... Like, an Earth Shatter won't go off because maybe crazy stuff happens. Like, I've had Earth Shatters not go off because you step behind a lamppost for just a split second as you walk by. And so that's the stuff they remember the most. But
And there's some concern over, Wrecking Ball being added, and we have more knockbacks now, and Reinhardt's, like, pretty vulnerable to knockbacks.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to stay in this very specific spot, and he's getting knocked around. We'll have to see how that goes. There's certainly a world where we could give him some knockback reduction or something when he has a shield out. I don't know if I'm ready to quite pull that trigger yet.
I gotta say, it does feel a little bit weird that if a Brigitte can stun a Reinhardt charge, and it's not like a both counter pin, both fall to the ground, she just gets stunned.
Yeah, so that is not really intended exactly. The other thing we're gonna do with Reinhardt as far as like a big systemic change, we're trying to it's not really just Reinhardt specific, but anytime we have charging characters colliding with each other, it's pretty inconsistent right now. Like a Doomfist punching the Doomfist, or punching Reinhardt is charging, or Brigitte, shield bashing somebody. It's kind of not really random, but it's wild right now.
Yeah.
We want to like make that really consistent, and it should be knocking down both players in those cases. Maybe for Brigitte's case, we could talk about one just winning over the other. It's not. It's kind of a charge. It's like a really short duration charge, so I don't know if it quite fits the same thing, but. That's going to be part of probably next patch as well, trying to get that working consistently as well. So, I mean, none of these are like huge, like outright buffs, like Fire Strike, twice as much damage or something like that, but they are pretty significant changes. So, I think people are pretty excited about those. And then we'll reevaluate and make sure he's still viable. And if the knockbacks are too strong, then maybe there's something we could do there as well.
Okay.
But we're definitely hearing the concerns, and I've seen all the same videos that everybody else has about, Brigitte and Doomfist knocking you around, you can never hit the ground, and, it's craziness, so we're keeping an eye on it. It looks like Scott's here, though, so I think I'm tagging out the baton.
You away
the
from
baton
me.
toss, that's right. Well, Scott's got a lot of cool stuff to say, too, so we'll just consider it a pass the baton. Thanks, guys.
We'll chat.
Have fun, get on PTR, give us feedback. I love it, and we love reading everything, even if it's bad.
Come to PTR chat. Come play Wrecking Ball, aka Hammond, aka Wrecking Ball.
Definitely play it as well as read it. I get a lot of like comments like, "This is what I read and it seems scary." Like, just give it a chance. Give me like one game, and then it helps with the feedback quite a bit. So,
but thank you for coming by.
Thanks
I appreciate
a lot.
it.
Thanks for being here. This is cool.
It's fun being local. I can just drop by.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Okay, this is the best spot ever right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is great.
Especially, you could come right there. Oh, shoot him. Oh,
it's so close.
All right, take it easy, guys. See ya.
See ya. Chat, I'm gonna do this all day. Here we go. So chat, that was Jeff Goodman. I forget his exact job description, but he handles a lot of balance stuff, I think. He has a lot of stuff to say. And now we're getting Scott Mercer.
No one can hide.
He's coming in.
Hello, chat.
He's here.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Scott.
Hello, Seagull.
How's your day been?
It's been pretty awesome seeing the internet do what it does on the announcement of there being a hamster in a large mech.
You guys put a hamster in a ball in Overwatch.
And he swings around and he destroys everyone.
And he just knocks around,
cool.
he just knocks people around, and he drops from the sky, does a lot of damage. He's got some cool abilities.
Yeah, he's just a tremendous amount of fun. It really is. It's one of those things where the entire team really did just so much awesome work, from the animations to the models to the sounds. I know on PTR you guys aren't seeing like all the plays of the game and that kind of stuff, but like those are just amazing too. So there's some really funny stuff. So something to look forward to.
Yeah. So wait, I have a question. You guys recently changed how these types of heroes go to release on ranked and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly is the new like launch schedule for that?
2 weeks after release. that's where we're gonna.
So does that
we're gonna
mean
do.
2 weeks from now he's in ranked, or is that 2 weeks
2
from
weeks
when he
2
gets
weeks
put
from
onto
the
the live
real
server?
patch? Yes,
gotcha,
on the live server.
gotcha. Okay,
Right.
makes sense. So 2 weeks from when he goes to the live patch, he'll be available in ranked. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we basically did with Symmetra. For Symmetra, so much has changed about her. Like pretty much
she's basically a
everything.
new hero.
Yeah, so made the call there. It's like treat her like a new hero. So she's delayed 2
Speaking of
weeks
Symmetra,
from
I have not given her a
1-5.
shot, so I'm gonna give her a shot.
Oh wow. Okay. Exciting times.
Exciting times.
Now there's expectations. Your team would be like, "Where are you gonna put the teleporter? Where are you gonna put the teleporter?"
They're looking at me right now. He's ready. He's ready for it. He's like, come on.
Also means someone else gets to play
Oh.
Wrecking Ball. So
It's a big teleporter, guys. It's huge.
yeah, there's definitely gonna be a little bit of learning curve. Like I played some quick play with.
Big learning curve behind those teleporters.
Yeah,
For sure. Thanks, Scott.
I know I'm personally really excited. I know like a lot of the team is like really seeing, at the professional level what happens with her. She's not going to be available in the OWL playoffs.
So which patch is being played in the OWL playoffs? Just the one before this one, so the Hanzo one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's going to be exciting to see Libero play Hanzo.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes, the Hanzos will be out in full force for sure.
All right, chat, ask questions. Sorry, I got distracted by playing
Yeah,
Symmetra,
yeah, I
and
see
it's
it's
almost,
playing Symmetra, and
it's
it's
almost
new,
overtime, and I'm
yeah.
sitting here just like, oh my god, we're actually doing it.
Wait, has it been 4? It hasn't been 4 minutes, has it?
4 minutes? No, this is the second offense.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I came in the middle of a match. I'm like all confused.
Very
so it's
confused.
Like, crazy stuff. So
Let's see. Goodman talked a little bit about Torb.
Sure.
Talked a little bit about Reinhardt.
yeah.
We talked about, honestly, so many things.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, obviously he's the best person to talk about the heroes because he's, the primary designer to work on all that stuff. So, the kind of stuff
sense.
I've helped working on is competitive play. So which, I know right now we're really concentrating on Wrecking Ball and all the stuff that come out with 126. There's a host of hero changes. I mean, I don't know if you'd like to talk with Jeff about some of the changes to the fall off.
Yeah, we did talk a little bit about that.
So there's the host of I think really awesome hero stuff, but just earlier this week we had Looking for Group, which is
Yeah, that's
been
what I
working-
want to talk to you about was
Yeah.
most of the rank system stuff that you guys have been changing. So the first one would be we can now endorse our teammates.
Yes.
Which is really fun.
Yeah.
Everyone it's actually so funny because the moment you give someone something to play for that is just like a one sec, big fight.
Yeah.
Something to play for that rewards good behavior, everyone is on their best behavior all the time, the last few rank games. It's so funny.
And that's what we really want to see. I mean, there's been some
Yeah.
concerns, people talking about it, it's all fake or whatever. It's okay, you can fake being cool. That's
You want to fake
please.
being nice to me? Okay, I'm okay with
sure.
that.
End result is you're being nice. So, I mean, that's been really great to see. The reaction to that, we've gotten just huge. I mean, people talking about how just the games just feel like people aren't yelling at each other just so much.
Yeah, I noticed that in the last day of ranked, which is traditionally probably the meanest day to play ranked.
It's kind of a crazy time. The
It's
last
the day of crushed
Yeah.
expectations, a day of disappointment,
Yeah,
and people are actually kind of nice.
and we'll see if that. Hopefully, we want that to continue to roll on to the next season and seasons past that.
Well, I think just when you stop getting people into random solo queue games and you put them into groups,
Yeah.
people are instantly nicer.
Well, I think when you're just throwing random together by the matchmaker, I think there's a lot of people naturally assume the worst about their teammates.
Yeah.
But when you actually go ahead and make a group through LFG or you're doing it with friends or whatever, you don't assume the worst, you actually assume the best. It's
You try and work with them.
Well, it's if that person made if someone makes a bad play and that happens all the time, no one is perfectly playing Overwatch all the time. It's you don't immediately assume that it's this person is horrible and why are they are they boosted or why are they in this particular rank and so forth. It's just
Yeah.
It's hey, you made a bad play, let's try to pick it up for the next team fight, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's really it helps just overall change the mood, the psychology, and it's just a way more positive place.
I think it's just that combined with the private profiles. And a lot of people don't like that, but I'm one of the few people who actually really like that. So
Yeah, I mean, we've noted all the feedback about that. I mean, I think what you're really seeing with like the private profiles, with LFG, with endorsements, it's a very intentional like sort of package put together to like try to create like a much more positive vibe, and also like giving players a bit more control over how they play Overwatch. So, I mean, LFG is great for that. There are so many ridiculous amount of options that are within LFG. I'm like,
I exploded.
Yeah.
I forgot my teleporter was not down. I was ready to run away.
There's so many options for not, you know, if it's like if you want to make a group, if you want to have like, you know, that kind of control over like who you want to group with. If you're just someone that's like looking for an already existing group, like through the list, like the list tries to be smart about sorting for like putting groups at the top that are like near your skill rating, that are near your like ping. So it tries to put people.
Yeah.
So it tries to be smart about that kind of thing. But it's just there's like so many options, and we're even like and even with the immediate feedback that we've gotten from like PTR and like even for a couple of days, we've already got some changes to LFG that are like some of those are even on this PTR here. You know, just like little things. Well, just like little things. Like it was pretty cool because like yesterday, like one of our tech artists came by and like had some feedback, and one of the things was like, hey, I was like looking for a group and I tried all these filters, but the filters weren't saving, so every time I went back I had to redo them.
Oh,
and like
it's quality of life stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's just like things. It's like, hey, let's make this like a really awesome, like easy to use thing, so it doesn't feel like a barrier to finding a great play experience. You know, that's really what a lot of like LFG is about. Like, we want to make that like as easy as possible, something you could like quickly. And there you go.
That was so close.
Yeah.
I made a cool play with the teleport. I was so excited.
And this, folks, is why it's a test room.